Right. Hi, guys. So take note to ignore the first 5 minutes of this live when you're reviewing, okay? Because I was trying to find it on my phone to send it to you guys, and I wasn't seeing it at all. So right. So Leandra, Kavita, Precious, hi to everyone. I'm waiting for some more folks to come in before we get cracking. Today we are going to be doing conflict management lecture. But we have to review what we did already, and we did last week. We did HR. Yeah, so my laptop it needed a restart this morning, and usually when it has to restart, it takes a little while to load. So that's why we started late, and then I wasn't seeing it on YouTube. So All right, so we have 13 people on, so let's get moving. So let's review what we did last week. Last week we did human resource, and we confirmed that human resource, as we all would think, when we think human resource, yeah, is the department that hires people and fires people. So it's a little more than that. Series of activities that first enables working people in the organization to use their skills, which uses their skills to agree about the objective and the nature of the working relationship. And secondly, ensure that agreement is fulfilled. So reminding you all, it's about HR is about matching the individual who is coming into the organization with the values and culture and the objectives of the organization. All right. And specifically ensuring that the person who's coming into the organization can actually has the skills needed to effect the function properly. So the HR job is job analysis, selecting, planning labor needs, also called forecasting, or what you would say, we use the term sometimes, getting the right complement of staff in the workplace for that department, orienting and training new employees, even new managers as well, looking at compensation, incentives, appraising performance, communicating, training and development, building employee commitment. So the human resource department is has a very active role in ensuring that the persons coming into the organization are the right fit. When they come into the organization, they get oriented properly into the culture of the organization. I don't know if some of you remember me saying that at times, what did I say about the culture of the organization and persons coming in from a strategic standpoint? Can someone remind me what I said regarding the culture of the organization and someone new coming in strategically? What what two things you may want to do? What are these two things? So I'll look out for the responses while I continue the review. Human resource managers should know about equal opportunity, affirmative action, health and safety for sure. The OSHA Act has been passed in our country for several years, and it is a very, very important thing with respect to employment. Some of your employees, especially if you're in a large organization and you have employees that are aware of the laws, they can take you to task for not abiding by and adhering to the laws that are stipulated in our law book regarding organizations, regarding businesses, regarding buildings, regarding processes that involve safety. So let me see if I get some answers here. No answers. No answers. I said that the human resource department can strategically bring in someone, and it has to do with culture. Let me see if anyone remembers. No one remembers, right? And also in our country as well, we have some really we have a lot of unions in our country. So therefore, a lot of these unions, by law, has given has rights as it relates to um, the representation of their employees. So their members. So although the role of the union has since I don't want to say faded, but essentially that's what I'm trying to imply. And it has diminished from the days when we had active industrialization, such as the energy sector, such as the sugar union as well. We had, well, port workers are still in a union. So There were the two main ones, which was the Sugar Workers Union and the Energy Sector, which is OWTU. They have since um, have since had some difficulties with the closure of their industries. Nobody's answering. Guys, come on, culture, and okay, good. Alicia, you went through the video. They can hire someone to fit into a positive culture or to change a negative culture. Correct. Very, very correct. Thank you very much, Alicia. Thank you very much. Strategically, this can be part. Your CEO can say to you, to the HR manager, all right, here's what's going on. The the drainage section, the drainage section have some problems. They seem to not they seem to not have a good work ethic. And there were some people in there who perpetuating it, who encouraging it. We need to hire a supervisor. So here, what I want you to bring in a supervisor that can alter this culture, that can change this work ethic. So you see the strategy there. It might sound simple. It might sound something like what we're doing every day, but this is exactly what happens strategically when you are looking at different departments that may need adjusting, fixing, etc. So that's the fix and negative culture. And a positive culture now is you have a good culture of your organization going, good culture of your department. Everybody is productive. They may not be friends that go and line with each other after work, but they have a good working relationship. They understand each other. They they get things done. They are very productive. You want to make sure that someone who's coming in is coming in with that same amount of productivity and that desire for having a good working relationship. In other words, you don't want to bring in somebody who's lazy, and you don't want to bring in somebody who is a who what type of personality we're trying to get trying to get a local word out of you all here. What type of what type of personality you don't want to bring in your already positive organization? Go get me that word. Get me that local word that you don't want to have into your organization. And ladies, you all ought to know it pretty well. Not saying the guys wouldn't know. Actually, how much guys do I have in this class? I have Dylan, I have Jahil. Who else? I can't recall much guys in this class. So tell me the character of the personality that we don't want in your organization when hiring, and you have to be wary of it. You have to ask questions about it. And even if the person does come in, remember you have something called a probation period, and that probation period should be used to get that particular character out. I'm looking out for that. Okay, so I'm continuing the review. Right. So remember that your staff is the largest cost of any organization. That's clear. It's a volatile resource. They can leave you anytime. And I know I would have taken this opportunity right there. Leandra. Leandra. You make me smile this morning. Correct. The back analysis. Leandra, get it perfect here, boy. BAC. I'm taking your spelling, right? Bacchanalist. Big X. We all know Bacchanalist in the place. I'm sure if we had a live class now, everybody would have been stitches laughing, right? Because I'm laughing. You don't want the bacchanalist to come in because I'm using this local term, right? Because this person is now going to encourage and be a de facto leader in your group, in your social clique, in your department that is now going to alter the culture of your department. Only amongst, and sometimes even so, Only amongst a high performance team, this person would not survive. This person would be ushered out. But generally speaking, in an organization, if it is you bring in a back analyst or someone who doesn't have good work ethic, someone who's interested in who's distracted. I'm using the word distracted, but in other words, I'm trying to say they're looking at they're looking at unimportant things, people, people business, the color, the place, things that doesn't have relevance that they make problems with. So very good, Leandra. You get it on point. That was very much on point. So good, good to go, good to go. And I asked the last time. I said, so staff is a voluntary resource they can leave you anytime. And I remember saying in class, what did I say about? I said train them well so they can leave. But tell me what's the but? What's the but part? Tell me what's the but part, right? Right. So the source of corporate knowledge, clearly, your staff, they have information that's there already. I always say hiring a new staff will always cost more than retaining your current staff. We had some lively discussion about individuals should contribute more than they cost. Treat them well so they would say, yes, Samantha, see. Correct. Train them well so that they can lead, so that you have now a competent, you have high capacity. And this is the kind of terms that you would talk about in management and in human resource capacity, right? By training your staff, you are now going to improve the capacity. You're going to be improving the capacity of the organization, and you're going to be improving the organization's skill base, right? And by doing that now, you now have a strong organization. But you treat them well so that they would not leave. You treat them well so that they. I don't want to use the word comfort because in management we talk about comfort zone. That's not a good place to be. But you treat them so well that they are happy, that they are contented, that they enjoy what they're doing, right? And perhaps right there in your organization, you can do things that put them out of their comfort zone because out of the comfort zone is what happens out of your comfort zone. Out of your comfort zone lies, or you would find the most. Finish that sentence for me. Out of your comfort zone is, you'll tell me. Right, and we spoke extensively about individuals contributing more than they cost, and that's because you want what was we use the example of the football players that would start off in a second league team that would do really well in their second league team and get scouted and get headhunted and get bought by a first league team and then do well there in that first league team and then get headhunted again and get bought by a Premier League team. Out of the comfort zone is where the magic happens. Kavita P, the magic happens somewhere else. Success, innovation, growth. Mm. Yes, yes, growth. Precious, precious. Out of your comfort zone lies the greatest amount of growth. When you step out of your comfort zone into something that is new, something that is challenged, that is where you grow. That is where you develop. So very good. Kavita P, the magic happens somewhere else, and seeing that you see it already, you'll have to tell me where that magic happens. Where I said the magic happens. I'm waiting on Kavita P for this one. Um, success, not so much career. I was looking for growth. Alexis, innovation and initiative. Perhaps because yes, if it is you're out of your comfort zone, you may be forced to you may be forced to become innovative, take initiative, be creative to resolve the challenge that's in front of you, right? Um, good. Kavita P, you really don't know. So I say when we was doing a lecture a week before, at the front lines, at the front line, at the interface between that staff member of yours and your customer that is paying, that is where the magic happens. That complete transaction of customer walks in, hello, I would like to get this service, and your staff comes in and say, hi, yes, we can help you, and we have these options, we have those options, and customer says, okay, thank you very much. I think I'll take this option. And you've been so pleasant to me. And then staff says, we're happy, we're here to help you. That is where the magic happens. I hope you all enjoyed my little skit. But that is where the magic happens. Right? The magic happens where your staff is now receiving a transaction and completing a transaction with a potential customer that gives you the where's this I think how do you guys do it? How do you young people do it? Yeah. What does that mean? What does that mean? Your staff is completing a transaction with a customer. So your staff is now getting what for your organization? Come on, you all have me feeling silly here. Nobody's answering. Money, yes. Yes. So your staff is money. Yes, Chelsea. Yes, Alexis. Yes, get the money. Yes, get the money. Because remember, organizations are for profit, right? So you can't be doing all of this nice, great service, providing all these nice products, and you're not getting paid. You have to get paid because you have staff to pay. Remember, you are part of the economy. Your business is part of the economy, so you must get paid to pay your staff so that they can take care of their families, and you can get a fair amount of profit as a business owner to continue the wealth generation. So yes, right, good, 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 nice. So tell me, what do you think about my skit just now? Was it good? All right, um, right, good, 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 right, right. The strategic role of human resources in management. All managers are human or resource managers. Again, we said it's matching and integrating the person with the organization. Um, you always want to improve quality, become competitive globally. We are more and more in a global market that we need to be aware that we need to think beyond our zones and look at competition that is coming to us globally. That we can try to take our product globally as well. I know I used this slide. Alexis says, good job. Thanks, Alexis. Um, the slide on slide number 9, I mentioned this was asked of in summer exam, and all of the students forgot about the top right hand corner, which is the HRM environment, and we are clearly in a pandemic and international event. There will be trends in society right now. There will be legislation as well that relates to this pandemic and things like pandemic leave and all of those things, quarantine, changing technology, how we are using technology now in light of this pandemic to get our work still done if you're still employed somewhere. So the HR cycle is, the company strategy feeds into the HR planning, forecasting, recruiting. Then you develop an effective workforce by training, development, and having appraisals. Then to maintain it, you need to have good wages, good salaries, good benefits, good labor relations, terminations, and then feed right back in. right? And then we moved on to talking about information technology, how it's changing the way HR is being done. We mentioned discrimination and affirmative action, the Equal Opportunities Commission. I know I encourage all of you to go in. Okay, Alexis, I'll answer your question just now. I'll definitely answer your question. I'll answer your question. Let me how much more slides we have here for this review. We have a good bit. Okay, so I'll take a break in the middle of it and I'll answer your question. I encourage all of you to look at the Equal Opportunity Act, and we have an Equal Opportunity Commission. They have a website. You can browse through it and see how it relates to, see how it affects your human resource management competencies. We also have an OSHA Act, as I mentioned, OSHA Act as well. We do have compensation and benefit laws in Trinidad and Tobago in the Labor Act of Trinidad and Tobago. We looked at how the social contract is changing, comparing the old contract that is in line with old management and a new contract that is in line with new management competencies. We spoke about that 2 weeks ago. New HR issues in the workplace, employer of choice, teams and projects, work-life balance. I know I spoke about work-life balance, downsizing. Right now we are in a pandemic. There's lots of downsizing happening. So your HR department has a real key role. I know for a fact that there are some persons who've been out of work for the last 4 months or last 5 months, completely out of work. How does the HR department, um, easily let those employees become furloughed? Furlough is a word. Well, I'll put it in there. Furlough. Furlough. The term has been used very often. Simply means you're sending your employees on leave to take them back in when business picks back up again. The airline industry is happening tremendously. Um, HR is using a new workplace, employer of choice. We went on to discuss each of these individually. Teams and projects. Virtual teams, you're not physically meeting at all. You work um, you work online using technology. Temporary employees, they can be from CEO to data entry clerk to janitorial. Technology has a real impact on how things are being done. And on slide number 21, broad work-life balance initiatives such as on-site gyms, on-site childcare. Yes, it's a wonderful thing, and some of the larger, more real modern-day companies do factor these things in. It's really important. It really would give employees, perhaps especially the mummies and or daddies that have to take care of their kids, a real peace of mind knowing that they are in their office. They have a professionally trained set of persons taking care of their kids in an environment where there are other kids from the employees of the same organization. It has them really comfortable. Downsizing, we spoke about downsizing and how it can really affect persons' mental state. I know for a fact we have perhaps maybe about 2 or 3 persons I know that committed suicide after being laid off from Petrochin. Same may have happened when the Caroni was also closed down. So these things have real impacts, as well as the current pandemic. There's an article by one of my colleagues, Dr. Krishna Maraj. He gave an opinion on an Express article. I believe it's yesterday's Express, that spoke about the impending mental pressure that's on persons right now in this pandemic because of the uncertainty that exists and because of downsizing, whether it be planned or unintentional. Downsizing is if people are losing their jobs, they're now losing their ability to maintain their lifestyle and also take care of their families. So your HR department has an important role there as well. Right. So let me answer Alexis. Alexis asks, "Sir, are all managers leaders?" So the answer to that is all managers are not leaders. That's the short, straight answer. Because a manager can be someone who can utilize resource. Remember what the definition of management is. They are utilizing all resources that they have to their disposal to achieve organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. Full stop. A leader is a person who should have management skills. A leader should be an excellent manager, but a leader also is someone who inspires. So leaders inspire. Leaders also make new leaders. Leaders are visionary. Leaders lead by example. So, Alexis, I hope this answers your question. There can be good managers that are not good leaders. For example, an easy example I can refer to is someone who would have done accounts all of their life. An accountant based person is someone with a particular mindset. An accountant based person is someone with a particular skill set as well. But because of the nature of their work, they are they are programmed essentially in a particular way. They are programmed to be precise, they are programmed to be very logical, and they are programmed to be at times emotionally unintelligent. A leader, a leader has high emotional intelligence. So a person who has been a successful account manager or accounting manager or finance manager may not be able to transition into a CEO position very easily because a CEO is generally a good leader. A CEO is generally someone who has to inspire his executive team and and facilitate his executive team now passing on that vision to the middle management and the first line managers. So leaders are a particular category of managers. Leaders are particularly a particular group of persons. They may not no, leaders may not always have management positions because they have you're asking me a topic that I could talk a whole lot on, but I'm gonna get distracted and and go off from the lecture. But I hope this can at least answer you a little bit that all managers may not are not leaders. Okay, good. But so you can have a good manager that may not be a good leader. A good leader should be a good manager as well. A leader, okay, sure. A good leader must inspire, must make new leaders. Good leaders are visionary. They lead by example and have high emotional intelligence. So I can encourage Dr. March for us to consider doing a leadership course. It's something that would be very very useful um, in today's world, especially in pharmacy as well. So Before we go for the break, let's just quickly run through the HR review, and then so when we come back in, we'll start the conflict management. Right, attracting the effective workforce. Um, of course, the matching model to match the employee with the organization. Right, forecasting, knowing what your human resource needs would be needed for future projects. Internal and external vacancies. Internal is where you can have them filled from within the organization. External is where you definitely need capacity from the outside to come in. You don't have that internal capacity to fill the new position. E-recruiting, caravanjobs.com, pharmacyjobs.com. Oh, it's very much online. Everything is being done online. You can email your resume. Basic building blocks of HR management: job analysis, job description, job spec, select. All right. Remember, I spoke about shortlisting, interviewing the applicant. These are some specific things that you want to take note of when you are conducting interviews. Remember to ask open-ended questions. Remember, you are conducting the interview, so you need to manage the interview. Sometimes you might need to ask open-ended questions. Sometimes you might need to ask close-ended questions that you want to get yes or no answers because you know the relevance of it. All right, you just give an example here on slide number 32. Why you don't ask about home ownership, for example. Why are you asking someone if they own a home in an interview? Right? So interviews are not generally, this is very correct. A good interview is not a good or not always a good predictor of job performance. And there are people out here who are really good interviewers, but horrible employees. And you would have to take your time to be monitoring such persons because they would come through your door through the interview process. But remember, there is still one more chance for you, which is the probation period, before you can now make this person permanent in the organization. So understand that there are persons out here who will interview really well. I've had this experience a few times. Well, they've interviewed really well, and it was a panel that was interviewing the person. When they did come into the organization, you know, they may have been a back analyst, they may have been someone who simply is incompetent. So you have to be very, very wary. They may have been um, uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? They may have been dishonest. Dishonesty is a big thing. People who lie on their interviews, people who lie on their resumes. All right, people who lie about the references, who put references that are simply their friends, etc. All right, so we have a list of inappropriate questions on slide 34. Things like race and age, religion, gender, national origin, marital family status. Some organizations do have employee tests, employment tests. You have to write an exam before you can come in to the organization. What example of a national organization you are aware that there is an exam to be written before they can be accepted into training? Tell me, guys, what national organization do prospective applicants need to write an exam and pass the exam before they can be taken into training? So I'll look out for the answers. Right, training and development is the other component of your HR, ensuring that your employees are part of all of this is, I spoke about the learning organization. Performance appraisal is a point of time evaluation of an employee's past performance, giving them feedback. I try to make to distinguish between performance appraisal versus performance management. Performance management is something that's ongoing, whereas performance appraisal is the medical board. Kavita P. I don't think so. No. I don't think there are any exams before you get registered. And with the pharmacy board, I remember in my time there was a intern exam, there was a pre-reg exam. So I'm not sure. I don't think from my knowledge, I don't think there is a medical board exam because these guys have to be interns for an entire year before they can be registered as a house officer or a practitioner. So not medical board. Try another one. Um, right. So I know I mentioned that we wanted performance appraisals to be a good thing. You might have bad information or not so not you may not have praise for the person, but you might have information for them that can help them that get better. Compensation, we all want what everybody wants good compensation, everybody wants good benefits from the organization. Termination, I know I spoke about termination not necessarily having to be a bad thing where you as the HR manager can know, if you're really good at your job, you can show the person that, hey, it's not all that bad because maybe your perspective in life may have changed and the results that you can produce may not work here, but I'm sure it can work somewhere else. Right? I'm sure that this new skill that you have can now work well elsewhere. National security, yes, Jahil. Yes, Jahil, national security. That's what I was getting at. The police, they have exams before they can be accepted to training. So Jahil got it right. Samantha, see, lawyers have to pass the bar exam. Okay, all right, yes. Perhaps I'm not too familiar, but perhaps. Thank you, Alexis. Coast Guard and police and air guard. You need to do an exam before. Okay, all right, good. I wasn't aware of that one because I know I wasn't told about any exam when several years ago when I was about to get into there. But okay, maybe I actually can confirm that with one of my colleagues whose husband is in the Air Guard, so I can confirm that. Thanks, Alexis. Right. So termination may not have to be always a bad thing. Yes, at times if it is you're getting rid of an employee and you can say in your mind, well, good riddance. Not all the time the person is a bad person, just simply that they may no longer be a good fit for the organization. And then we looked at MBO, management by objectives. I remember stating that MBO is very similar to project management, project type management, right? And that's it. So that's your review for HR. We're gonna take the break now, and we're gonna come back in. I was not in the air guard, Jahil. I was about to. I'll give you the story when we come back. I'll give you all the story when I come back. So we'll take a break now. We'll come back at around 10. Let's say 10. Let me see how long conflict management is. Conflict management is not long, so we'll come back at 10:20. All right? We'll come back at 10:20 and we will do conflict management. Break now and return.